Hello, this is the alien Wicked.
And this is the Ducky Gwen. Welcome to yet another installment of Ducky and the Alien. Tonight, I have announcements to give you, and then Wicked is going to talk about shamanism and how to get over a fever.
ASAP. You
Yes.
won't believe this. Also, I made a milestone too. Two of them, actually. I'll tell you about them when it's my turn. Okay, your turn.
Alrighty. So, many of you guys know that we have decided to retire the Ducky Alien News Network, which in turn means no more Middle Earth news, and how we are going to replace it with something better, like
Yep.
what I made in the community post.
Yes.
Just a few days ago, we have uploaded the first video of the new channel, the Ducky Alien Files.
Yes. Woo!
The Ducky
And then,
Alien Files covers
yep.
true crime, mysteries, as well as medicine related topics.
And creepypasta.
Yes, and creepypastas.
Yep.
The first episode we did was on the case of Claire Inglis. If you want to check it out,
Yep.
the link will be in the description below, or we could feature it at the end of the video in the outro.
Okay. That would be interesting.
Yes, very interesting indeed. I did the best I could. Well,
You did
technically,
a damn good job. We did a
it's
damn
we.
good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a damn freaking good job.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good for a first time. But
Yes, that was a good one.
there was another case that I wanted to talk about that wasn't Claire Inglis that I actually had in mind as I was looking for that one case of that video that had the negative comments directed towards,
The
the
victim.
victim. Yes. That one was Terry Harris, but I ended up making a mistake as I couldn't remember properly exactly what topic I wanted to talk about. And the first video
Okay.
that popped up to me at that time was the one Coffee House Crime did on Claire Inglis, when in fact it was the other video that was done on Terry Harris. That was the one that had the victim blaming comments, not the Claire Inglis one. I had to realize that too late. So I had to remove references to the comments of the Terry Harris video as they had nothing to do with Claire Inglis, and Claire Inglis
That's
didn't
right.
have it as worse as Terry Harris in terms of the victim blaming. So yeah, that was quite the
Well,
mistake I
we're
made,
only
but I was
human.
yes, and I was able to rectify it, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
And for that effort, I'd like to give myself a pat on the back. I just had to wing it right there.
Yeah, it was a good wing.
Thanks. So I believe I could have done better in how I addressed the case, but you know,
Yeah,
we're still learning, so
human.
bear with
Human.
us. Yes.
Yep.
I also have another announcement. For those of
Yeah.
you that don't know what Adventure Quest 3D is, it is an MMORPG, the full term being massively multiplayer online role playing game. Anyway, there was a quest to get 3 sets of what is known as the ShadowSlayer sets.
Oh,
The quest,
interesting.
the quest for it involve going to a place called Darkovia, and you have to do like the ShadowSlayer quest there.
Yes, that's interesting.
The quests involve a feud between werewolves and vampires. Well, in this
Cool.
context, the werewolves are called lichens. And
Lichens?
yes, the
And the
storyline,
vampires, what are they called?
they're called vampires.
Oh, just vampires.
Yes, just
Interesting.
vampires. So there's
Just
a
vampires.
storyline where a supposedly kidnapped daughter of the mayor of Darkhurst ultimately ends up marrying the vampire king, which then turned into what should have been a successful end of an eons long feud between the lichens and the vampires. But the ending was not what I hoped it would be, to put it bluntly. I'm not going to give any spoilers here. You'll just have to find out for yourself once you play Adventure Quest 3D, but the Darkovia quests are one of those quests, and through those quests, I was able to finally achieve completion of all 3 of the ShadowSlayer sets. So,
Oh,
first off, yeah, very interesting. First off, we're going to get into the ShadowSlayer E set. The ShadowSlayer E set is a brown set, and it
brown?
comes with a sword. Yeah, the color brown.
Cool.
And within that set, there's a part of it that makes your hair partially brown.
Interesting, like half brown, half whatever. Cool.
Half whatever your character's hair color is.
Interesting.
The next suit is the ShadowSlayer R set. The ShadowSlayer R set is a red suit. You know,
Red suit.
yes, a
Okay.
red suit. It also consists of a sword.
Cool.
The last set, the ShadowSlayer W set, is a black set that has, an X-shaped belt with the sword on the side.
Interesting.
It does not come with a usable knife, unfortunately, like the previous 2 sets that I discussed.
Oh, darn. Yeah, that would suck.
But either way, it's pretty cool.
What app store did you use it to get this game?
I used Steam.
Ah, darn it.
Why? You don't have Steam?
No, I don't have a laptop.
Oh, yeah, you need to get a laptop, girl.
Yes, I know. After the next 2 tattoos and the piercing, I'll get the dang laptop for sure.
Alrighty, but there is also a good news. You could also get Adventure Quest 3D through the Google Play Store on your tablet and
Really?
smartphone. Though, if you are to
Okay.
play on an Android device, I recommend the tablet, because bigger
Oh,
screen, and there are some tablets that come with a mouse and a keyboard. So you could use it like a computer.
yeah, I know how to use a tablet. I've seen it. I
I'm
have
one
one in front of me.
I'm wondering,
Go
does your tablet come with a mouse and a keyboard?
No, it doesn't. Damn it.
Girl, you need to get the keyboard and the mouse. Yes.
Okay.
A tablet is more ideal for when you want to go to a friend's house or if you want to travel. You have
Yeah.
something that's more lightweight and a little smaller to carry, whenever you go out, as opposed to bringing your laptop, because laptops are more heavier. And
Yes, I agree.
like a lot of things, they tend to get stolen. So you never really know. I prefer to keep my laptop at home where it's safe and sound and no one is likely to steal it.
Yeah,
As
that's
for
true.
my tablet, I didn't want to bring it the first few weeks that I obtained it, as I don't want it to get stolen before I ever had the chance to use it long term.
Yep.
But yeah,
That,
so if anyone hasn't yet, please download Adventure Quest 3D. Plus, my guild needs more active members. My guild in question is called RIPD. It consists of one of my personal friends as a leader, as well as other staff members, including myself. Yeah, I am one of the co-leaders. But the ShadowSlayer set are also used as a uniform for our members.
yeah,
For the staff, the higher up staff anyway, we have something called the Dreadful Shoulders as the part of the uniform. And the
yes,
set we use is parts of the ShadowSlayer W set. And then the cape we use is something called the Shadow Stalker cloak. It's a little cape with that looks a bit tattered.
yeah,
Kind of looks like a dark wraith, if you will.
yes. That
Something
sounds
like,
cool.
yeah, it sounds like something a dark wraith would wear. And
Cool.
yeah, but for the majority of the time I've been staff in the RIPD, I wore the parts of the ShadowSlayer R set up
Yes.
until I obtained all of the ShadowSlayer W pieces. So yeah.
Cool.
So that will be all for now. So Wicked, would you like to talk about shamanism and
I'll
what
first
shamanism
talk
is?
about how to break a fever first, which
Yes.
I got my
Yes.
Facebook on my phone, so don't worry, folks. And you're not getting my Facebook, people. Okay, to
Yeah, not mine either,
first
but that's beside the
wait,
point.
yeah, first wait it out. If you do have a fever, remember it's a fever itself, not an illness. It's just a symptom of one.
Okay.
Hydrate. Water, literally waterboard your mouth. You have to drink lots of water, whether you like the stuff or not. I don't like water, but I would rather deal with it straight up instead of dealing with it meal and not having very much success in this. Opt for ice if you feel like you're going to puke. Cool down with compressions. I don't use compressions. I used a cold cloth on my head. Try sponging to cool down. Pop a pain reliever. I would recommend that if the pain is a pain in the arse.
Okay.
Dress the part. Like
Yes.
dress the part. Get dressed like you would for a summer day because you're going to start sweating. Take your time with
Uh,
eating. And there you go. That's how you break a fever. And I will make an announcement on my Spooky Kids channel about that later.
okay.
And
Sounds good.
shamanism, in my opinion, is a nature based religion that
Why, yes.
you would think that is more associated with the Indigenous Canadians and the Indigenous Americans, but
Uh-huh.
really it also has Central Asian roots, Siberian roots,
Okay.
as well as Persian roots. A little bit of Persia has shamanism. The Scythians were shamanic,
Cool.
and the Amazons were shamanic. This religion spanned from the Pontic steppe where I was born
Cool.
all the way to the land bridge and obviously all the way to North America and South America.
Nice. So basically, shamanism is kind of
The
like
idea,
a clerical spell. We
yes, it's
see
kind of like
we've seen shamanistic spells throughout a lot of fantasy-based video games. Examples
yes,
being Dungeons and Dragons and Raid Shadow Legends.
yes, I've heard, but it's a real life thing. It started in Siberia and Central Asia with the Turkics, and it made its way to Eastern Europe, Pontic steppe, as well as Russia and the New World, which would be where our arses are sitting now.
I find that very fascinating, really.
Yes, that we went. Uh, the Indigenous Canadians and Indigenous Americans came via the land bridge from my Russia, my Siberia,
Okay,
to North America and South America.
cool.
Yes, and it's about healing. Now, there are some dark siders, like people that are trying to heal you for money and they try to scam you. That
Oh
isn't the
no,
case.
those.
Yes. Yes, there's always scammers wherever you find humans. They're called darksiders in shamanism
Oh yes.
when they have ill intent and other bad things, and they might not be as angelic. And then you got the light siders, which are people like me who are not interested in greed or power or anything. We're just trying to help people.
Just
And many
like the clerics in those fantasy type video games you play. And I forgot
or
to
like
mention
a
Adventure Quest 3D
doctor
in that
to
regard.
this day, or to it like a doctor to this day, would have been a shaman thousands and thousands of years ago.
Holy crap. So technically, we have shamans working in our midst every single day.
Kind of, yes, but they're bookish shamans. They're not the spiritual shamans, but
True.
anything healing I would consider shamanism. Also, we use a lot of crystals.
Ooh, crystals.
You've seen my crystal collection. It's a bugger, right?
Oh, right. If you guys haven't watched the video yet, I will put the video in the description below.
Okay. And the idea of shamanism is to help people through spirits and nature as well. It's the idea that you're using nature as a power source to help people. Now, I'm going to tell you a story what my mother did to my right ear.
Oh my.
And this okay, so I walked to my friend's house across the town. I didn't think about pedos or anything, but my mother did, and when I got back, she yanked me by the neck of my t-shirt and said, "Get upstairs, we're going to have a talk." And then she nearly burst my eardrum, saying, "You're going to get back to the world. You're going to get back. Time you stop
Damn!
taking." Yeah, I was just 12 years old. And
Girl.
then It wasn't brutal. It was a wake-up call. I needed it. And then I started thinking of ways to help people. I'm also a starseed, which is a shaman whose soul comes from extraterrestrial origins, like from another star system.
Cool.
And I'm also an indigo, which is a shaman that is more justice oriented, hence why I have the Hoover building in my background.
Cool.
Yeah,
For a second there, I thought it looked like some sort of FBI building.
it is an FBI building. It's the Hoover
Huh.
building.
What do you know? What do you know?
But my idea of shamanism is more starseed and indigo.
Very cool.
The indigo is more potent in me because I would be more or less an FBI agent. That if I could get a hold of the opportunity, if the opportunity were to come about, I would be an FBI agent like that. I don't care what people say about the FBI. Like they might say they're whatever the hell comes out of their mouth, and I
Wow.
ignore because I find that the FBI, I worship the ground they walk on. And that's the indigo part. Indigo. The star seed is where everyone is interconnected with the cosmos. So, in other words, I don't give a shit about what color you are or what quote race you are, just as long as you're human. We're
Yes.
connected.
Yes. As I stated earlier, character is more important than the color of your skin and any other parts of your DNA that have no other significant impact on your life other than the fact that it makes you exist.
Yes, that's true. Also, I'm going to say I have Turkic, which is like a derivative of Turkish. They they're in Central Asia, as well as Mongolian, Siberian, Baltai, Chechen, Arab, Saudi Arab, and white,
All right.
as well as Amazonian. Not to be confused with the shopping network, but the actual ethnic group of just women only. That's what got me interested in shamanism at the first place was the Amazons
All right.
and
So,
the
any
Scythians.
Scythians? Can you tell me what
Yeah,
the Scythians are?
they're a Central Asian race that made their way to Eastern Europe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And a
That is
lot
so
of the
cool.
strongest people come from, this might not be a little off the topic, but a lot of people who come from the Pontic steppe, Central Asia, and Mongolia and Tibet, we can be very physically strong.
That explains why we have some muscular women out here in the world. Like, for example, Maximum
Myself
Claire.
and
Yes, and
myself,
you too.
although I'm a miniature compared to her, I'm still got muscles.
Now, if only we're able to flex them with our avatars.
Right.
And it seems I'm having trouble moving my avatar properly today. I don't know why.
That's okay. It's okay. I'm not worried.
Yeah, so, oh my gosh, the way my head is moving right now, it is not even funny. I wonder what's going on. Is a spell put on me or something? Like, dude, like, just my head is moving at random points and my body moves at random points. I don't know. Maybe it could be something to do with my headphones or the computer acting a bit off for some odd reason.
Oh, that might be the my Booksie ended up acting up for a
Oh
while.
no.
My Booksie, which is like a writing platform that I discovered from He Who Shall Not Be Named, but it turned out to be a good platform to get my stories out. And I'll give you the link about that when when we finish.
Yeah, of course.
That was the only good thing about that one imbecile.
Uh,
Hello again. I'm just talking about my septum piercing, gauging of the septum piercing, and what it meant to my ancestors, as well as I'm going to talk about how I made it to 35.
I just gotten a picture of your face with that piercing. I thought that piercing looks wonderful. It's kind of like that bright red color, kind of like part of my background on my right just now. You want to tell me more about
Yes.
that particular piercing?
Well, first it was just a septum piercing 16 gauge. What I have here now is a 14 gauge. The lower the number, the bigger the hole is. I'm
Ah,
only going to a 4 gauge because I want the damn thing to heal should I want it to heal.
yes,
Okay? Because once you
it's
get into
important.
the zeros and double zero and the inches and stuff with your ears or your septum, you lose the ability to regenerate and grow it back in.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, so I'm only going to a certain extent, and then that is it. But basically, my ancestors, if you had an upgauged septum piercing like me that I have now, it was the equivalent of an FBI badge. You were fidelity, bravery, integrity.
Yes, which is what the FBI stands for. But I'll get
Yes,
more into that later on. Continue.
yeah. Also, I found that you have to be faithful to yourself. You have to be brave to be yourself, honest with yourself, integrity.
Yes.
And that's important. You have to start those 3 words with yourself, then you become. And that's why I upgauged my piercing.
That is so cool.
Because my ancestors would have thought that was fidelity, bravery, and integrity at one point in the Iron Age and in the Ice Age. If you saw someone with a bigger septum ring in their nose, you knew they meant business.
All right. Yeah, I also want to
Yeah.
touch up on the FBI situation. So, I know you don't know this, Wicked, as well as probably a lot of the people watching this, which is at the moment not too many, but there has been some corruption in the FBI as of recent years. I'm not
That's
going to
only
get too much
human.
into it, but basic,
That's really human. I'm not expecting to see a bunch of iPads running the damn place or
right?
tablets, smartphones. They're human. They're allowed to have their faults. Although sometimes their fault, like we all have days and stuff. I know this is corruption, but still,
Yeah,
we all are entitled to bad behavior once in a while. That's what I think.
yes. Oh,
Nobody's perfect.
nobody's perfect. Yeah. I also wanted to bring up something really cool. You know how home videos used to start either a TV show or a movie with a disclaimer from none other than the FBI,
The
those
copyright,
yes, the copyright.
as well as winners don't use drugs. I remember that correctly
Yes.
too.
So sadly, we don't see a lot of that in a lot of our modern entertainment. I don't know
Yeah,
why that is, but when we both grew up, a lot of our TV shows and movies started off with the FBI copyright disclaimer. The backgrounds of the
yeah.
FBI copyright disclaimers were, if I remember correctly, most of the time green, though occasionally there were blue and then black. Could have been black.
Oh,
But yeah, it
did
had to
know.
be
I
black.
did know.
Yeah, those were the three
Okay.
colors that were used for the FBI copyright disclaimer backgrounds back in the day.
Yes, I
For
remember.
all the Gen Z and Gen Alpha kids out there, this was what life was like for us millennials and,
Yeah,
the generations before us, when it comes
yeah,
to our entertainment, that is. Well,
yes.
technically, it was only the start of the Gen
The
X
tape.
generation that this started, to my knowledge. But I wanted to get that interesting tidbit out
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Also, I find I like the one where they say winners don't use drugs. I'm just gonna look that up on my phone.
Yeah, that was part of an anti-drug assignment back when I was in class. I had a teacher's aide
Yeah,
tell me winners don't take drugs as a note from a video that we watched that day. You know how sometimes they do those anti-drug PSAs in classrooms?
yeah. Oh
Yes,
yes, the
that was how I
drug
first heard
test.
about it, and it was in high school. So I want to
Okay.
further touch up on the one cleric character from Raid Shadow Legends.
Yes,
Well, the
certainly.
cleric character in question is obviously the shaman, like I discussed earlier in this video. Basically, the shaman in this case is an orc, you know, like a humanoid ogre, if you will, except they don't look anything like Shrek, obviously.
Yeah.
They're more muscular and toned, to put it
Oh
that way.
yes, I am that. I
Yes.
that is me, except I'm not an ogre. I'm
And
just trying to get this picture up. And this is my beloved picture I love of the FBI.
damn it, my head is moving erratically again. Ugh. Seriously, what
Yeah,
is up with my
yeah,
damn avatar today? Ugh. Uh,
yeah. It
I look like I'm
does that.
possessed right now. No, really. Look at me. I look like I'm possessed right now. For real.
Oh God.
I know. Cleric, can you help me, please? Or rather, shaman?
Yeah, what I would do. Well, I don't know how to do about that. The avatar, but
Yes.
I know that if I have an awkward avatar too, mine slumps over sometimes.
Right, so at least your avatar is presenting itself just fine. But mine, for some odd
Yours
reason,
is
I
now
don't even
good.
know. Yeah, like I said, it's erotic.
That's crazy. I
Yeah.
would probably talk to a computer dude about that.
More so
Also,
a Zoom contact support person.
yeah, I know there goes your, I should call you Bat back.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna change my name right now. There we go. That's gonna be my nickname for the rest of this video.
Bat back. Yeah,
Yeah, because I don't know, just my neck randomly bent. Because,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, it's glitchy on my end for some odd reason. Anyway, the shaman in Adventure Quest 3D is called a healer, which is also
Oh,
a
that's what
clerical
they
spell.
usually are. That's what they usually are, healers.
Yes, and of course, the Dungeons and Dragons shaman is called the cleric. See,
Declare.
yeah, shamanism is prevalent among a lot of fantasy video games, as I discussed earlier. And
Cool.
in a way, if you want to be a doctor or an herbalist or some sort, you can start yourself off on a fantasy-based video game and play a healer.
Cool. I'm more of the protector.
Yes, that's the type of healer used in Adventure Quest 3D. They're like the protector, get shielded from attacks. And to a certain extent,
Cool.
Paladin also has some abilities associated with the cleric, protection.
Paladin?
It's
What's a paladin?
basically, uh, I'm going to show the viewers the definition of it right here. Think of it as a warrior mixed with cleric.
Oh, interesting.
So, you want to address a video that you made a few years back, when you've had your bad experiences with those piercings that you bought from Amazon, if
I
that's
want
okay.
to address that. Do not buy the, excuse my French, Amazon piercing kits. I would not, or self tattooing kits, because number one, it's going to make the aftercare a bitch when it doesn't have to be a bitch. The
Uh-huh.
other thing is that it will severely compromise your immune system for a certain amount of time, and COVID can come in and wreck everything.
Yes.
Now, when I did the self piercing, I was practically doing it every week because I don't really have a pain unless I have a cold. That being said, I don't feel very much pain. And I rarely take a Tylenol, so there's one hint that I was going hog wild with the piercing kit. The next thing you know, it slowed my immune system down, and I ended up with
God.
COVID for the first time. I would not
Oh,
recommend getting those piercing kits or the self tattooing kits on Amazon. If you want a piercing done right or a tattoo done right, design your tattoo, bring it up to an artist, and the same thing with the piercing. The only thing I would suggest doing, if you piercing wise, that you can do on your own, maybe gauging your ears or septum, like I do. That's easy and rarely does it go wrong, except for in my case with my ear. But other than that, stretching isn't as traumatic as, let's say, getting the piercing done or the tattoo done. It's not as traumatic on the body. So you can do your own stretching or gauging, but anything else that involves prickly stuff, have a professional do it for Christ Almighty's sake.
no.
And
But
the
yeah,
awareness is that those damn piercing kits will slow your body down and overrun it, uh, leaving you susceptible to COVID, colds, flus, or maybe even nastier stuff.
maybe bronchitis.
I, yeah, or worse. It
Yeah,
just slows
people,
your immune system down.
people just get a professional to do it for you, please. You're doing your body a favor.
Yes, that's right. Except when you stretch your ears or you stretch your septum, that is a whole different ball game. You can do that yourself, but I wouldn't go hog wild on that either.
Right. That's
Take
why,
it slow with the stretching.
yes. Take it slow, just like you would in any type of relationship that you commit to. Please, take it slow. Don't rush
Yeah.
everything.
Why do you have a pinching taper? And I will show you a picture of what a pincher taper looks like. And what you do is you have to be very careful. You have to go from small to big, and you have to do it gradually and very slowly, or you're gonna up everything too.
Damn.
But stretching is with tapers and gauges are a lot more easy than, let's say, piercing yourself or tattooing yourself. And it's a lot easier on your body, whereas the tattoo or pierce is traumatic on the body, so you need to be in a clean environment. You need the professional to do what the hell they know they're doing and stuff, and to make your design come to life and everything. I would recommend going to a professional if you need to go and get a piercing or tattoo done. Don't do it yourself, idiot.
Yeah, please do not even buy
That's
from
all I have to
Amazon
say.
or eBay or any other such sites. Like I said earlier, just leave it to the professionals, okay? Leave it to the professionals.
Yeah, don't get those piercing kits or self tattooing kits. I was
No,
made aware of the self tattooing kits a few weeks ago. I said, "You've got to be kidding me."
no,
To
no,
my
no, no, no,
friend,
no.
and I said, "You have got to be kidding me." And no,
Yes.
I would prefer to waste my money on a professional and know that I'm not going to end up in the hospital doing the aftercare. At least it's a lot easier,
Yes.
gives you peace of mind, and the aftercare isn't going to be a pain in the arse.
Yes. This is exactly why I
Very
haven't had
true.
any piercings as of yet. I have no nose piercings, no ear piercings, say for those one clip-on earrings that I got when I was 7 years old, and those bunny clip-on earrings as well. Those are the only two earrings that I have, and they're clip-ons. They're not pierced. I have a bunch of earrings that require ear piercings, but for obvious reasons, I can't use them right now. But maybe in the future, but not right now. And that's also the same reason why I don't have tattoos. You know, besides being expensive,
You're afraid of needles.
yes. And there's a possibility of obtaining keloids
The
from
expensive
wearing
part
earrings.
is not a bad.
No, absolutely not. But you gotta do your research on what tattoo parlors you plan to get
Keloids?
tattoos in. Yeah, keloids. Those little extra bits of skin that you
Yeah,
obtain
that's what I do.
from improper piercings.
Tattooing. And I never had a keloid in my life.
Same, but it never hurts to be safe and sorry. Because I've watched an episode
Yeah.
of a medical show on, I believe it was TLC. I think it was Dr. Pimple Popper. It's where a person
Uh,
had her keloid removed because of having keloids as a result of having her ears pierced. Because,
I've heard of that. I saw something similar to that on Facebook, and I was like, "Holy!" They were the
yes,
size of baseballs, tennis balls, and stuff. And I was like, "Holy cow!"
Yeah, that big?
Yeah, they can get
Oh
that big.
no. Yeah,
Yep.
that's why I'm very
Now, if
apprehensive
I
about
see one
piercings.
the size of a basketball that I dribble every Tuesday, I'm gonna dribble my brain.
Right. Anyway, you wanted to talk about being 35?
Yes, as you know, as many people may know, I have PTSD. Um, Sometimes with people who have PTSD, they don't always make it to a 30, depending on how it was caused. Sometimes you have made it to 30 before you had PTSD, but when you have childhood PTSD, it's a bitch to be growing up. It's a bitch. I've struggled with a lot of dark thoughts when I was younger, and I'm very proud that to say I'm 35 going on to 36.
And then 36 and beyond.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't an easy journey because, well, it was PTSD, it was mental health. There were times I wanted to hang it up or just say, I'm fed up, I'm done, I give up. But I didn't. I kept trucking. I may have said it because I was frustrated, of course. But then I went and gone and did my thing, and then I found that I would feel better afterwards.
Well, that's good to hear. Really.
I found that you have to have the right coping mechanisms. Like, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, smoking.
Yeah, because
So,
lung cancer.
and so therefore, I don't believe in the idea of doing drugs.
Nope. No drugs. Drugs are bad.
Dr-
Say no to drugs. Just say no.
Winners don't use drugs, especially if they're traumatized. Children don't. Winners don't use drugs. And that being said, it'll extend your life if you listen to that motto.
Right. It's easier said than done, unfortunately, for a lot of people. You have to really
Yes, I know
put
that.
your mind to it. You have to really want it. It has to come from the heart. Otherwise,
Yeah,
it just doesn't work.
that's right. My mother, God bless her soul, suffered from alcoholism since she was my age, and that's what ended her life. Metastatic liver cancer,
Oh, oh,
which means it spread to the whole show. It spread everywhere.
damn.
Yep, and therefore that was not a pleasant experience. Here, and she also hemorrhaged, like from
Oh,
the
oh,
orifice in her body, like her eyes, nose, mouth, ears. Wherever there was a hole, she bled out of it until she died. It was pretty demonic.
my
So
God. For
if I
real.
make it beyond her age, that'll be another success story.
I would prefer you do so.
Yeah, I don't like drinking. I don't like smoking. And my mother's death is an example of why you shouldn't do it.
Exactly. Yeah, my ancestors from my mom's side of the family, couple of them actually died from alcohol poisoning. I can't remember what the exact symptoms are, but I imagine
There's
that they had
seizures.
cirrhosis and all that other stuff associated with alcoholism, which is why
Yeah,
both my mom and grandmother told me, when I was first introduced to the idea of alcohol, don't even start it.
good idea. I'm a prohibitionist. I don't like alcohol.
If you're gonna drink alcohol, at least
Be careful too.
Yeah, do it in moderation. Do so in a
Yes.
controlled setting. Don't do it on your own. I don't recommend doing it on your own,
Just like
because,
tattoos and piercings, don't do it on your own.
well, alcohol doesn't have anything to do with piercings and
But
tattoos. It's more
it can
so
still get
the
out
drink.
of hand. It still can get out of hand if you're
Oh,
not in a
yes.
controlled setting. That's what I meant.
Oh, yes. Absolutely, of course. I never really thought of alcoholism being synonymous that way with piercings and tattoos. So, yeah,
Anything with the body, you have to be in a controlled setting, I find.
yeah,
Or you're
absolutely. You're screwed indeed. Screwed.
damned if you
Please.
do, damned if you don't. So don't with alcohol, do not do it. I would say yes to tattoos and piercings because they're not as harmful if you get them done right by a professional. Still, it has to be in a controlled setting. That being said, go by a damn professional.
And steer clear of facial tattoos if you can, because, you know,
I hate those. I I hate those criminals because they use facial tattoos, and I'm ready to scream cultural appropriation.
well, not all people that wear facial tattoos are criminals, but nonetheless, I'm not
Most of them
particularly a
are.
fan of them. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of them because I associate them with criminals, and it's like, ugh. You've
And
got to
then
be
there's
joking. This is
the
where we're going to end.
so please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button if you enjoyed this video. That was quite the wild one, per se.
Yeah,
Please be sure to check out the first video of the Ducky Alien Files, and
yeah.
check out my own video on the Disco Duck Gandalf channel regarding that milestone that I mentioned earlier in the announcements.
Okay, sounds good.
Alrighty, everyone.
See you
Leave
then.
a
Be
video
sure
for,
to check out this peaceful, spooky kid as well. Huh?
but yes, be sure to check out her main channel, The Peaceful Spooky Kid. Well, this
Okay.
internet
Good
connection
night,
dingle is
folks.
killing me.
Okay, let's go. Bye.
Alrighty. Good night, folks.
Good night.